Principle of Creation, Part 1. Principle of Creation, Part 1. As we will see, there's cause and effect. Now from the effect, we can understand the cause. As in the Bible, as in Romans 1:20, it says, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, His eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse." So Romans 1:20 it says, "Ever since the creation, God's eternal power and deity can be clearly perceived in the things that He has made." So from the effect, from the result, we can understand the cause. So when we look at things around us, the creation, from also another biblical verse you can see in Psalm 91 for the director of music, a psalm of David. "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the skies proclaim the work of His hands." So let's look at some of the things that we see in creation. We call them dual characteristics of God. So everything in creation, every living being, every organic living being has got internal character and external form, called Sung Sang and Hyung Sang. So if you look at mankind, because the male and female, they've got a heart and a mind that is internal, that you cannot see, and they have an external form of body. Animals do have also an animal mind or instinct, as you say, and they do have a body as well. So plants have a plant mind, and they have a plant body as well. So if you go down to the molecular level, such as molecules, atoms, and particles, they do have an inherent directive nature in them. And from there, they have a structure of form. So everything has two characteristics, Sung Sang and Hyung Sang, which means internal character and external form. We're putting external character, but it's internal and external form. So from the effect, that is the creation, that we can understand the Creator. So let's look at the attributes of the dual characteristics of God, like the result. Again, we look at creation, the mankind. Mankind is composed of two genders, male and female. And same with animals, same with plants, and also in the molecular level, we have the same thing. We have positive ions and negative ions. Right? If a molecule has more protons, positively charged, than electrons, the negatively charged become a positive ion. Same with atoms. Atoms also consist of positively charged nucleus and negatively charged electrons. Particles, protons are positively charged, electrons are negatively charged. But they don't exist separately, but they exist together as give and take as one. So from the cause itself, we can understand the result. So what does it say about the result? So what we can say about the result is that any being has an internal character and an external form. So if you look at like internal character, external form. So if you look at the human being has positive emotion. You got emotion, intellect, and will. You cannot see. It's only from his behavior, from what is outer appearance, that we can understand the emotion, intellect, and will. So emotion, intellect, and will has positive emotion. Positive emotion means joy, happiness, like more positive, more appealing. And then you have negative intellect, that is more creative, more active intellect. And will is active will, wanting to do it and getting it done. And then you have negative emotion like passive, melancholy, and all these kind of feelings that you have that are very passive, and sadness, and they are not bad, but they are good to have empathy on other people. So then you have intellect as well. Intellect is also you receive, like when you are a student in a classroom, you receive You receive from the teacher, so you're having an intellect. You're always taking in. You're not creating. It's not active intellect, but passive intellect. And then you have will. Will also the same way. To sit and listen to a lecture is like a passive will. So so in that sense, you can say that it's negative, positive, and negative. So if you look at the Hyungsang aspects, that means the external aspects of any of a human being, it has got also with it. It has concave. Concave is more protruding outside, and convex. Concave is more inner, going inside, and convex is more protruding outside. So you have concave and convex. When they are in balance, they are in harmony with one another. We say that it's beautiful and it's well balanced. So you have to have both aspects. So when you look at creation itself, you see this thing. You see this right round creation. You have hills, you have valleys, and when they are in harmony with one another, we say it's beautiful. So what can you say about the Creator? Creator has these characteristics within himself that he has put out to the creation, and that's what we can say about the creation. But we see what is the purpose of this creation. The purpose of this is the intellect, emotion, will, creativity is heart. Heart is defined as it's called Shimjong. It is the emotion impulse to feel joy through love. So when you have intellect, emotion, and will, use concepts, laws, and principles, you create something. You create something very very beautiful, very creative, something other people. So you find tremendous joy out of that, and that comes from heart. It comes from love. When you have an emotion to feel joy through love. So the purpose of all this, the internal character and external form that God created, so that the internal will guide the external. So you have a proper mind, a mind that has all these concepts and laws, use the intellect and emotion and will. That means you can be able to create something, to be creative, and therefore creative is centered upon heart. Is the whole idea about. So the dual characteristics of God. God is a subject being. Subject in the sense that it is an initiating being. And we are the object. Human beings and things of creation stand in an objective position to the subjective God. So there's a relationship. God cannot exist by himself. He needs an object partner. So we are an object partner to God. So human beings, therefore, are created in the image of God. So everything else is created as symbols of God. But they all have an internal character and external form centered on heart. So that is being manifested in the creation itself. So thank you for listening, and I hope to present the second section of the principle of creation.